Hey guys, it's been a while since you've seen my face, but I wanted to start doing something a little different to kind of marry my two loves, my two hobbies. Actually, there's three hobbies, but we'll start with two on this channel because I do a lot of journaling. You see behind the scenes of my stationery store, but there's something else that I love to do that I don't always showcase on it, and it's like about time that I marry the two things. So, that being said, welcome to my full TBR. So, it's going to be half what I'm going to read for the fall season. I try to do like specific books for each month, but that doesn't work out for me. So, I wanted to do something a little different where it's kind of like per season, I pick a few books. If I read them all, great. If I venture outside of that, better, you know? So, I started an Instagram. I'm going to put it down below. Of course, I always have my vintage ink stationery. That's where I put all the updates of my store. But I started an Instagram specifically for books. I don't do book reviews. I don't want to grow the thing into this big bookstagram. It's just for fun, and I can do it as part of this channel as well. But it's Chloe and her books. I recently shared my full TBR. So we have a few books that I kind of want to run through of what they are and kind of why I'm reading them. And then of course I'm going to flip the camera around and we're going to do a little like journal update, if you will, so that you can see what I've been doing on the journal part of this. So that being said, I have some of the books already as physical copies, but some of them are being read on my Kindle, and some of them I'm not even going to purchase. It'll be a Libby or Kindle read. So let me pull out my Kindle just so we can run through them. So for the fall TBR, I picked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I picked 9 books. And again, I did kind of like a quick synopsis of what each book is on my Instagram, just for anyone else who's wondering what those books are. But let's start with what I physically have here. So out of the 9, I physically own 4, and one of them is on the way. That'll be number 5. So I'm going to show you my little stack. Yay, cute. Okay, so these are the 4 books that I physically own a copy of. Again, the 5th one is on its way. It's like back ordered or something because it's so freaking popular. But anyway, let's start. So I have Emily's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I've been seeing this around Instagram for quite a while actually. And I own both the first and second book, and the third book is on its way in paperback because they are available, I believe, in the US cover in paperback, and I don't like them. They're too dark. I don't like dark books besides Harry Potter and like maybe Divine Rivals, which is back here, but I don't really like dark looking books for some reason. So I always try to look to see if there's like a lighter cover. I don't like red books either. Girl, I don't know. I'm just a hot mess. Unless they're the Penguin Spines, which leads me right into my Penguin book classic. Now, just like many other Jane Austen lovers, we own 8,465 copies of the same book in different editions. But the one I read and annotate, which I am annotating at the moment, is the Penguin Classic, Pride and Prejudice. And I'm doing a reread of this because I read this, I want to say when I was in college, and that was like 20 something years ago. So obviously I've watched the movies, I watched the TV show, I've watched all the remakes possible and the parodies and all of that, but I don't remember the actual text. So I wanted to read that, and I'm on the challenge to read. I have about 12 Penguin classics, and I want to be able to read one every month. I did start now, so of course I'm going to end half of 2026 with reading it, but I'm never going to stop buying classics, so I needed to read at least one a month. So I'm starting with Pride and Prejudice. My next book is another one, to be completely honest, I don't know nothing about. I picked it up because I thought the cover was so stinking cute. As you can see, the reason why I picked up the fairies This one didn't have a light cover, but I think it's pretty enough and it reminds me of like fall. And this is The Spell Shop. I heard really good things about this one too. Hope it doesn't disappoint, because sometimes some of these books that are fantasy, I'm not a big fantasy reader. Actually, I'm really not a fantasy reader. I tried to read Fourth Wing. I read the whole thing. I almost wanted to DNF it so many times, but I pushed through. But this one, The Spell Shop, I like this type of fantasy where it's like more cutesy and like involves like witches and potions and spells. I don't like the magical world where it's like, I don't know, like vampires. And it's so weird because I loved True Blood and I love Twilight. I like True Blood actually more. And I love Frankenstein, not Frankenstein, Dracula, the book. But I don't know, some of these fantasy things where there's like so many things going on, I'm like, I can't, it's not my thing. I, however, did just purchase, you can't see because it's out of frame, but I did just purchase The Hunger Games. This is my very first time ever reading The Hunger Games. I don't know anything about it. I never even watched the show. But the copies were so beautiful. They're the new edition. I'll show you in a minute. Before we continue. But anyways, I wanted to read The Spell Shop. It looked interesting. It looked pretty. And it's very fall appropriate. So I think I'm going to like this. My next two books are actually book club books. One of which I have a copy of, which we're reading the Thursday Murder Club for the September book club for Kalita's book club. She's a YouTuber as well. And I am almost done with it. I believe I'm on, the chapters are very short, very short. It's a very short book, so it's a very fast read. It's just since I'm almost halfway done, I can tell you just a little bit about it. I don't like to do reviews because I just suck at like reviewing stuff. But it's just weird. Someone in the book club mentioned that it's the way like older people speak and like they take so long to get to the point of whatever they're saying. And I can see that because my mom is exactly the same way. But it's like it takes a while to get into the mystery and thriller part of it that I'm just like, it's okay. I haven't watched the movie. I do want to see it right after I finish this book, but hopefully the movie's better because this one right now is like a dud. My next books I do not have physically, but I put James on my full TBR, and the minute September hit, I read it. I read it in like 3 days. James is so good. It has to be a modern classic. There's a lot of people that have mixed reviews on it, like they didn't really like it for whatever the reason is, but to me is one of the 100 books of all time, which I'll show you in my journal. I started a new 100 best books of all time according to me. So there's a New York Times one according to different influencers and authors and things like that, but this one's according to me because my opinion is the one that matters anyway. So James is on there, and I'm going to do a whole journal spread, and maybe I'll take you guys along when I do that one. But James, it's a must read. My next book that I don't have a physical copy of is for the Inklings Club. It's just by another fellow YouTuber, James Edwards. Everybody should know who he is. So we're actually reading The Coin, and it's September 14th, and I still haven't started it because I want to get this Thursday Murder Club out of the way before I begin The Coin. The Coin follows a wealthy Palestinian woman in New York whose search for belonging collides with statelessness, eccentric teachings, and a bizarre Birkin bag scheme, all while her obsessions with purity and self-image spiral out of control, blending memory, exile, and sharp social critique. It's a darkly witty exploration of identity, desire, and the impossibility of an ideal life. So that's The Coin, and that's for Jack Edwards Book Club. I heard that it's not that good, but he does recommend a lot of really good books, so I'm gonna try and read it. The next one that I don't physically have a copy of either, but it's on my Kindle, is You Again. It's giving what is it, when Harry Met Sally, like that type of fall vibe. The blurb is Kate Goldberg's You Again is a witty rom-com about Ari, a carefree comedian, and Josh, an ambitious chef whose instant hatred years earlier turns into an unexpected friendship after heartbreak brings them back together. As your late night banter and platonic bond deepens, the lines between friends and something more blur, forcing them to confront whether love can grow from rivalry. So, enemies to lovers ish, which I think is pretty cool. And then the last fall book is If It Makes You Happy, which is again one of the more popular fall books out that I haven't received yet. I'm still waiting. So, freshly divorced and struggling to run her mom's bed and breakfast in Copper Run, Vermont, the narrator finds herself clashing with and drawn to her charming single dad neighbor, Cliff. Ooh, single dad, I love it. Cliff. As friendship with Cliff and his daughters deepen, she must decide whether to chase her career in Seattle or risk her heart on an unexpected love. So cute. Oh, and the last TBR is, I'll show you, and I'm actually reading right now, and I can't put this book down. Which many have said this over and over again, how good this book is. It's on Kindle U. I don't tend to buy thrillers, so this is a thriller. I just spoiled it. But I don't tend to buy thrillers, so I am reading it on Kindle U, and it's The Housemaid. And when I tell you I'm almost halfway done, I think I'm on part 3. It has like 3 different parts. And I'm just like, when I got to part 2, I was like, wait, what? What? Well, I've never read a Frida McFadden book, ever. I don't think I ever read a Frida McFadden book. I love thrillers, but I don't tend to buy them. Like, they don't, become part of my collection unless it's Stephen King, because Stephen King is Stephen King, you know what I'm saying? But it's really good so far, and I hope it ends well. I don't like the fact that it's a series. I don't like that, because sometimes they try to do too much. Like, instead of ending something, it's really good, it ended on a good note, it got you there, it gripped you in, and now you're adding more crap that might ruin the story. So I'm like not looking forward to that. But it is on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm gonna read him. Maybe not now, unless this is like really good and it leaves me off on a cliffhanger that I'm like, oh my god, I have to read that today, then I'll read it. But I'm not so sure. Anyway, that's my full TBR, and then we're gonna go into my we're gonna update my journaling. So if you've been in the channel, you've seen my A5 journal. I used to have a different cover, and then I found this one that matches both my room and aesthetic with like the gold edges. It's just beautiful. And here's just a collection of things. So this is the index that I kind of follow loosely sometimes. So it's my journal. Media would be like books and not books and movies, TV shows and movies. Then my book notes. Articles, which was kind of started out as my commonplace full articles that I wanted to keep to read on, but I've been keeping that more in my Notion so that I can do a search for it and kind of refer to them digitally more, so I don't really have a lot of it. And then my favorite music and lyrics, more lyrics obviously from my favorite music. So I'm gonna show you some of those sections. This is an AI picture of me. So in my journal, I have them sectioned out usually by the month, and it's just, again, it's just journaling on special days that I really want to remember, and things like that, journaling stuff that people usually do in like their regular journals, but I do it in here. And I do that only because it's just cleaner and it doesn't bulk up, and I can keep this in my archive, a bigger binder. So some of the things that happened, this is the DR and the tragedy that happened in the DR. Then this is my tea event. This is another event that I did. This is a movie that I watched that I absolutely loved. This is my other event that I did. And then June, I have a few things. July, I have a few things. Sometimes I go and back plan or back journal, whatever the heck you want to call it. So that's why there's a lot of missing months here. I'll just come back later and finish. And I think I finished on July 20th, and then we're in September 14th. So there's that. Here is the media section. So it's just my favorite shows, talking about movies that I've watched. And then TV shows, one of my favorite TV shows, and I kind of wanted to do like different quotes from all the actors. And one of my favorite movies, Little Women. My favorite season of Bridgerton. My favorite couple. I wanted to do a whole spread. And I did it like back, front and back. Front and back. What I watched in February. What I watched in March, what I watched in April, in May and June, and July. Then I wanted to do my favorite, one of my other favorite shows, which is, and if you notice, I do have a little dot that I put in here that sometimes I update and sometimes I forget to come back and put it. So I got to put that one. And this is for Marion Brooks, for my favorite show. So I wanted to do the characters. So Marion Brooks. And then I have Bertha Russell. The juxtaposition usually is between these two. But I wanted to speak on Marion as like the central figure. Even though she's like the subtle. It's, you know, the rivalry and the whole premise is between old money, new money. But I think her as a central character just really represents the bridge between old traditions and new ones. So I love her. And then here's my book section. So here is where we will talk about it more, being this is a book video. So these are the books and things that I have read or are reading in different sizes, and you'll see why. And these are printed on sticker paper, and I just keep them here until I'm ready to use them. And so here is my book section. This whole book collage, it's actually a digital sticker, is by my girl, documented by Jess. You can find her over on Instagram. I believe she has a YouTube channel, and if she does, I'll put it on the screen. But I buy her digital stickers and I use them digitally, and then I print them out because, I mean, come on. This is my enemies. This is my book review for Bridgerton. Both The Viscount Who Loved Me and Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. You got to see that. This is The Lost Bookshop. Just a summary of that. My favorite quotes front and back. The book bracket. And then we were up to the 2025 TBR. Okay, great. So this is my 2025 TBR. A lot of these I have not read, and some I'm in the process of reading, and some I don't even think I'm going to read. Trying, but this is what I mean about trying to sticking to a specific TBR just doesn't work for me, I don't think. So this is not looking good. Anyway, then I started doing my monthly book list. This is how I started. I had more. I had actually 6 books, but this is the only 2 that I read for January. Again, this doesn't work for me. Same thing with February. It's supposed to be 6. I only read 3. And then these weren't even on that list. So we're not going to talk about it. Anyway, this is my review for Before I Let Go. This is the quotes from Before I Let Go. This is the Wedding People review, and then the quotes from that book. And then here's where I started to do the seasonal. I started in summer. So I just picked a bunch of seasonal books that I wanted to read. And that's that on that. The Honeymooners, Summer Romance, Summers at the Saint. That was really good. I thought it was a romance, but it was a thriller. So I didn't read the back. I just picked it because the cover was really cute. One Italian Summer. I couldn't stand this book. Evenings and Weekends from the Inklings. That was the first book that we did for the Inklings book club. And then Amazing Grace Adams. I just picked it up because she's flipping somebody off in the picture, and it looked interesting. And when I read it, it was exactly that. It was very interesting. I read Remarkably Bright Creatures in the summer as well, which wasn't part of the summer list, but it made it because it got a 5 stars. This book was so freaking cute, wholesome, just yeah. So then here comes some of the challenges. I didn't do too many, I don't think. Maybe I'll do more, I don't know. But I did the rainbow challenge for the first time. So here's my red, orange, yellow, green, which this green is a little off, but whatever. Blue, and then I need a purple. So for the purple, I'm thinking of doing, which might be cheating just a little bit, but the Spell Shop has a lot of purple on it. Even the edges are sprayed, and it's part of my fall TBR. Or a love song for Ricky Wilde. Although for fall, I don't like to read a lot of romances. So I don't know. You know, it has a lot more purple than the Spell Shop. But I think the Spell Shop is going to be the winner. Look how, like, I don't know why they do the sprayed edges now, like, all the time. Unless it's like a design. Like, I don't really like them, but this is how the book. So I think this is going to be my purple. And that will conclude the rainbow. Now for my reading bingo. Oh, and by the way, my A to Z challenge, I do it in Canva, and then once I'm done with the A to Z challenge, then I print it out. So I don't have that here as of yet. But my reading bingo, this is why I printed out those tiny little books, because if I make it into here, then I'll put them down. So right now, in order to make bingo, I can go this way, obviously, or this way, which this way seems a little more plausible. So I have to pick a book that your friend loves, and I am reading it. It's The Housemaid. So I'm going to put The Housemaid there because she absolutely raves about it. So that'll be my bingo. And then anything else, I'm just going to put it just for funsy. A funny book. I haven't read a funny book as of yet, even though they say James was funny, but I don't find it that funny. Book published this year. There's tons of books that I'm reading that are published this year. I haven't read any nonfiction this year at all. Not even one. I don't remember. Book that became a movie, there's quite a few. Oh, actually, the Thursday Murder Club could go right here. A forgotten classic. I think if I read Passing, I'm going to put that as forgotten classic. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I would say this is more of a modern classic. But Claire Kendry is living on the edge, light-skinned, elegant, and ambitious. She is married to a racist white man, unaware of her African-American heritage, and has severed old ties to her past after deciding to pass as a white woman. Claire's childhood friend, Irene, just as light-skinned, has chosen to remain within the African-American community and is simultaneously allured and repelled by Claire's risky decision to engage in racial masquerades for personal and societal gain. After frequenting African-American-centric gatherings together in Harlem, Claire's interest in Irene turns into a homoerotic longing for Irene's black identity, which she abandoned and can never embrace again, and she is forced to grapple with her decision to pass for white in a way that is both tragic and telling. I can't, it's short. What is it, like 200 pages? No, 120 pages. 120 pages. And it just sounds so good, so I think I'll put that as a forgotten classic. Best-selling book could be James. And the book at the bottom of your read pile. I don't know that. But anyway, if I make this, which again is, what did I say? The Housemaid, then I'll have bingo. Anyway, so this is my book club. I didn't read the September book club because I didn't like it. And the September, wait, this might have been August. Oh, that is August. This might have been before. This might have been July. August, I didn't read. September, I'm reading. And then this is Inklings by Jack. This is Kalila's. And I think that's it with all my challenges. So I hope you enjoyed the little flip through of my book journal. Oh, I wanted to show you one other book journal that I started, have not completed. So I sell this in my shop. It is a journal that's made to look like a book that you can put in your library. And it comes, when you purchase from me, it comes with the edges. It's made by this company called Novel Bookstore. They make journals look like books, so it's blank pages. And I decided, because this is the Pride and Prejudice one, to do, drumroll please, 100 best books of all time according to me. So I gave it this like vintage feel. And then my first book is Pride and Prejudice. So what I want to do is write the summary and the review of the book here, and then a collage that kind of represents the book on this side. And this is just for the 100 books. And if there's more, then I'm gonna put like a little plus right here, you know, at the end of it. But for now, it's 100. So we're starting with Pride. Then I printed out, because this is, you know, again, to me, I don't know why I printed this out again, but James, The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde, In the Time of the Butterflies, Kite Runner, and She's Come Undone. So preliminary, this is what I'm working on. And then, of course, I will have more. And every 100 books that are, you know, my favorite of all time are obviously gonna get a 5-star, because hello. So that was the last thing I wanted to show you. So I hope you enjoyed me walking you through that. I'm glad to be back. I hope to see you guys more for some more journaling, some more book journals, some more bookish stuff. And we're just gonna have fun here and just forget about the views, forget about any of that. And of course, my occasional behind the scenes of my stationery shop. So thank you again, guys, for watching. Bye.